Hey guys, Ron from RB Real Estate Solutions. I'm here with
Roelle Allison.
fantastic, and we have a happy homeowner that is now sitting with us to discuss what the process was like with RB. We've been together since I think 2018 or 2019.
2019.
2019, yes, and it is now January 2022. That's how long it takes, and that's how long we essentially have to invest our time, effort, and energy to make sure that these processes happen. So what we're discussing today is a property. It was a single-family residence,
Yes, one family.
right, in Brooklyn, New York, and the property was underwater. The property recently received a payoff of $860,000, but the value of the asset is in between the area of $400,000 to $500,000, right?
Yes.
So they were underwater. So let's go into some of the details. And again, the reason why we're doing these videos is so that you, the person who's watching, can differentiate us from a mom and pop investor that just wants to buy it with buy the property with clean title and no tenants and no issues, right? We really resolve and add value to get all of those issues resolved, as you'll see through this video. So, Roelle, please give us a little bit about how the property fell into the circumstances that we were able to resolve.
Okay. Well, it started when my uncle passed away. He was the one taking care of all the bills and all the mortgage and stuff like that. After he passed, the letters, all the information was straight. Everything was going to him. But after he passed, everything was just in a rut. We couldn't find anything. We couldn't find any paperwork. So the place where we were supposed to send the mortgage to, they changed the location. I figured they probably sent us a letter, but that letter was with my uncle, the mixed up and all that stuff. So we was unable to. When we did send the check, we sent it to the wrong location. We didn't really know that until like about 2 or 3 months after they sent us a letter telling us that we fell into foreclosure because we had missed a few payments. After we explained to them, we sent off the checks and certain things to the address that they gave us. They told us that it was a new address. It took a couple months for us to get the money back, and by the time that happened, we were just behind.
I mean, it's unfortunate to lose just because of essentially mail, but really the premise of it was there was no leader. There was a lack of leadership because when your uncle passed,
Yes.
right, he was the only one that had the information, and he was the one that was kind of managing it.
Everything, yes.
Right.
Yes.
So tell us. So now there were a few other family members that were involved in the transaction. You didn't live at the property, but I think it was your aunt.
Yeah, I lived there for like a little while, and then I moved. But my aunt was the one that was taking care of after my uncle passed. She was the one in charge of taking care of everything and the bills and everything, and she wasn't. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But that's one of the reasons why we actually couldn't really dig ourselves out of the hole, because the hole was dug so deep.
Right.
To really get out, it was kind of difficult.
Right. So people already have left the property, right? And aunt is there, and she's collecting rent, but not necessarily managing it financially.
Yes.
To what someone would, like let's say your uncle was.
Yeah, exactly. He used to invest back into the
Right.
house. Like the bricks outside, cleaning up, making sure renovation, roofing, whatever that needed to get done was getting done while he was there. But once it fell into her hands, it was totally.
So now let's speak about essentially now some of the bigger differentiators between us and let's say our competitors in New York. Now, it's well known that you get 1,000 phone calls, right? I think it's safe to a million.
A lot. It's a lot. It's really a lot, and it gets annoying because every other. You think it's a scammer, a phone call, but it's somebody asking they want to buy the home. They see the house is for sale and stuff like that.
So what was it that one of our agents reached out to you? Her name was Rose. What was it that differentiated her from anyone else, right? Because you didn't know RB, you didn't know about our history, you didn't know why you should kind of trust us, right? So what was it about Rose that gave you the confidence to come in and at least take that first step to introduce yourself to us?
Well, at first she's persistent, and when I say persistent, I gave her a time period. Okay, listen, give me like 6 months, and I'll get back to you. And with that 6 months, she called back. Hey, how's everything? You ready to move forward? Stuff like that. And I still wasn't ready. So it was maybe another couple of months, And she called back again, hey, how's everything? But she was very professional, and she made me feel comfortable and trusting into it. I didn't feel like I was gonna get ripped off or anything like that.
Because, and in all fairness, right, real estate, because of how it's done, you know, it's not never the same attorney, never the same buyer, never the same seller. All these players are always different, and there's different scales. You know, you're dealing in a residential environment, so it's very scammy is the point that I'm getting at.
Yes.
There's so much opportunity for scam, and just in general, what's happening in the marketplace, you're always hearing about somebody getting scammed. So that's why it's really hard to trust the company that you're with, and that's why we're doing this video, because we are proof, and we're trying to convey proof of the legitimacy of our efforts.
Yes.
So the property was worth $400,000 to $500,000, and you have a balance of $860,000, right? So you want to speak about, and now it wasn't of any stress to you, our process, right? And I'll just tell to the camera that we had to do what's called a short pay negotiation, in which we hired you an attorney, right? Yes. We paid for the attorney. You didn't have to come out of pocket on anything.
Nothing.
We went into court to create a settlement with the foreclosure bank, okay, which we successfully did, right? And that closing occurred on Friday of last week, correct? And now today, that's why he's here, because he's picking up his check of $20,000, right? And he's picking up his check, and I asked him for the opportunity to speak, so that's why we're doing this. Now, but what I was saying is that it was no stress on your part. We were able to fully negotiate the debt. They're totally forgiven. All the borrowers are forgiven from all of their debt. And we were able to relocate aunt, right? And the people that she was renting to.
Yeah, a few people.
Right, it was not one or two.
No.
And it was not cheap either. It cost us something like $10,000 to relocate everybody, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, because it's a lot.
Right, and you also received some money up front. You received $5,000, and
yes,
plus you're gonna receive this. Plus she received a few $1,000s.
Yes.
Right. I think our total expenses on the file was somewhere in the range of $50,000 to $60,000 between all of the payouts and all of the litigation that we had to invest in to unlock here all of the circumstances.
I know it was a lot, because we was in deep. It was a messy situation. It was a
2.5 year, right? We said we started in 2019. We're at 2022. It was like a 2.5 year battle between the bank, the tenants, getting everybody on board, getting everybody to trust us. That was one of the hardest parts to execute. And then finally executing on the purchase, right, within the opportunity that they gave us. So, all right. So tell us about. Is there anything else that you want to say?
I mean, the process was definitely stress-free for me. And believe me, I was stressed out of my mind before that. But I didn't have to deal with anything. You guys led me step by step every way to let me know exactly what's going on. It was very informative about everything. And I'm happy. We did what we said that we were gonna do. Definitely.
Everything was always explained.
Everything.
Always had an opportunity to reach out to us.
Everything.
Never felt that we were leaving you in the dark on anything.
No.
Kept our word on everything.
Everything. I'm a happy man. I'm a happy man.
Just read. It's a $20,000 check, as I mentioned, right? It's written out to him as part of our agreement, right? There was no negotiation or renegotiation.
No.
Fantastic. We'll keep our word. Roelle, God bless you and your family.
Thank you. Same to you.
We appreciate it.
We
appreciate your trust. We appreciate you doing this video, and we appreciate. And I'm going to be appreciative of the families that your message will be able to help in the future, because right now we're coming out of COVID, and it's going to be very relevant to be able to trust a company that's doing good business.
Yes, and your company is definitely a company that is a trusted company. It's very good. No bullshitting. Hope I can curse on camera. But it's
as real as possible, please.
Yeah.
Just don't drop the F-bomb. We don't know who else.
We won't. But like I said, the process was really good. It was really simple for me. I know on you guys' end it was difficult to do all the maneuvers.
It wasn't difficult. It just takes time. It takes time because when dealing with Supreme Court, right? I get a, especially our process was right before COVID.
Right, yeah.
So COVID knocked our appearance dates. Let's say if it was a 2 months appearance date, now it's an automatic 4 to 6 months. Right? If it was a 6 months appearance date, judge comes in, let's say it lands in August, they've taken a vacation, they give you one delay, it's a 4-month delay. Right? So the time is spent, right? And your family was able to stay in the property
Yes.
the whole time. We never collect, even though we were laying out capital, we never collected any rent or anything.
Nothing.
So that's really powerful, right? Like that combination of integrity and execution is why we're doing this video, because it's hard to differentiate between players who are buying deeds, renting properties, the person doesn't know about it, they're not getting any rent collection, nothing.
Yes.
Right?
And it's true. And trust is something big. It's something, the smallest thing can just break somebody's trust. But you guys, on the way through, it was just...
Well, we're a God-fearing firm. We're a God-fearing firm. It's very core. It's part of our core.